But there's a certain point where you're going to find out you can't accomplish anything. So instead, I give you this mindset that has led me through my life. It's called failure is not an option. I learned it in the Marine Corps, and it wasn't on the battlefield. I was this young 19-year-old stationed in 29 Palms, California. This Jersey boy, I'm in the middle of nowhere, 29 Palms, California. I end up getting the best job on base. Folks, I'm the general's driver. I'm the man driving the man. I've got this beautiful Plymouth Fury, as beautiful as a Plymouth Fury can be, 4-door with the red flag on it. When you put a flag on a car, something magical happens. It was almost like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, like we could almost fly, right? The flag goes on there. Imagine 4,000 troops stopping, all 4,000, to salute the car. I used to dream I'd be like, they were saluted, carry on, carry on. Not for long, because I was driving, right? So you don't want to keep your eyes closed for a long time. So anyway, I'm the general's driver. He calls me in one day. He says, Tiger, get in here. You know, I've got to redo my ribbon rack, and I noticed that I've got a rip on this ribbon. So I need you to go to the PX and get me another one. I said, aye, sir. I grabbed that ribbon. It was a Medal of Honor. I drove for Major General James Livingston, Medal of Honor recipient, Vietnam. It was amazing. He was a hero. I learned a lot from him. He's still my mentor today. But now I had a job to do. I went down to the PX. I said, hi, I'm the general's driver. He needs the Medal of Honor. He needs the ribbon. He's redoing his ribbon rack. They said, well, we don't have it. We know the general's here, but these are not easy to get. There was no web. We're talking 1990. There's no web. They said, we don't have it. We've got it on order. We're waiting for them to come from Washington, D.C. I said, oh, but he needs it. Well, we don't have it. But he needs it. Well, we don't have it. But he needs it. I was 19 at the time. It took a little while for things to sink in. Plus, I was the general's driver, and nobody really says no. So finally, I said, oh, okay, you don't have it. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I grabbed the ribbon. I go back to his office. I knock on the door. Hey, sir, they didn't have it. And he stared at me for a really long time. And I want you to think about my predicament now. I am standing in his office. I can't leave. I'm not allowed. That's disrespectful. I can't just turn my back and be like, all right, cool, see ya. I can't do that. I have not been dismissed. And he's staring at me with these black death eyes. And I know he's killed people because I read his Medal of Honor citation. I also know he's killed a lot of people. And I am next, I think, at this time. So I look up, and every now and then I look down. Yep, he's still staring at me. What do you do? So finally I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to die. So I back away, and I was like, aye, sir. And I go out. And I go see the sergeant major, who's like a big granddad, right? So I go see the old sergeant major, and I told him what happened, and he looked mean. He said, boy, let me tell you something. You don't tell the general no. No one tells the general no. And I said, well, you don't understand what happened. He said, shut up, boy. You'll find that ribbon. You'll be back here with it tomorrow. You don't have it? Don't come in. If you don't come in, you're AWOL. UA. I'll throw you in the brig. Now get out. I'm standing in the hallway now. I'm not going to jail. I'm not a brig guy, right? That's not for me. So I better figure something out. And this is where failure is not an option comes into play. It's interesting when your back's against the wall and you realize there is no other option. When you have this mindset, all the options begin to appear. If you take me back to the PX when I was looking, I had the blinders up. You don't have it, there is no other option. There are, I'm not willing to look at them. But now that I'm going to jail, all of a sudden the blinders, and I don't know this at the time, but all of a sudden all the blinders come down. And I start seeing all these other options. I will find a Medal of Honor recipient in the area. There's got to be one in the connecting 3 states. Break into their house, steal it, and come back. Not a great option, but an option. I will write a bounce check that I know is a check that's going to bounce. In 1990, you could do that. For TWA, I will fly to Washington, D.C., get the ribbon, and fly back, and mission accomplished. That was definitely an option. And then the last one that hit me like a ton of bricks. Duh, why don't I call the PX at Camp Pendleton 3 hours away and see if they have one? Because General Christmas lives in the area, and he's got a Medal of Honor. And sure enough, there it was. Got in the car, 3 hours, Camp Pendleton, 3 hours back. Mission accomplished. I would later find out that both the general and sergeant major were teaching me a lesson. He knew there was no ribbon in the PX. He said, you needed to learn this lesson because in battle, If you don't operate with failure is not an option, you will get yourself or your men killed. And I'm here to tell you, why is this important for you as advisors? Because growing your business is hard work. And if you don't have this as your mentality, as your mindset, which so many advisors don't, oh, do you want a second opinion for your portfolio? No. Oh, okay, bye. No! Why wouldn't you want a second opinion? Who wouldn't want a second opinion? You were around in 2008. You've got to have this mindset if you want to grow your business, and that's how you grow it, and that's the mindset. And the last lesson I learned was not from the Marine Corps or advisors. It was from remember that little 5-year-old blonde-haired girl that I was a single dad and mom for? She rocked my world one night when she came in, and everything I had learned about failure is not an option. She came in back from school, and she said to me one statement, "Daddy, why doesn't my hair look like all the other girls?" She said, "Daddy, I want braids. I want ponytails like all my friends have." What do you say? I looked at that little girl. I said, "Honey, Daddy doesn't know how to do that. I can't be expected to do that. I don't know how to do that." And I had dumped failure is not an option, just like that. And that night I went to bed, and it didn't sit well with me. And so the next day I went to the store, and I bought a book, and the book was called Braids and Bows. It is the first chapter of my book. Yes, it taught me how to do hair, yes. But it taught me the deeper lesson. Never forget the roots of failure is not an option. There's always a way. You find a way. And if that's your mindset, I'm not going to tell you can accomplish anything, but certainly growing your business, that is definitely doable. Without a doubt, especially with this mindset. And if you ever wondered what happens when you take a Marine drill instructor and a hairdresser and you smash them together, you get a very tight, very disciplined ponytail. And I'm going to tell you, that was the best ponytail in that damn school. It was tight. Her face was like this. Guys, when you go home to try it out, be careful, because when you pull the hairs like that, that hurts them. So be careful. You guys are awesome.